So here's something you never really hear about, and a conversation I had recently. Aftercare for DOMs. Top drop is what it's actually called. We always hear about or talk about aftercare after a session for a sub, or we should be talking about it. That can range from patching up wounds to just cuddling and talking about the session. But here's the thing, that helps for DOMs too. Guaranteed this is unheard of or not heard of enough, because when people hear BDSM or they hear Master or they hear Dom, they relate that right to what they read or what they saw in fiction or media. And Top Drop isn't really in any book or movie. Then again, I tend not to pay attention to the media or fiction when it comes to BDSM because I don't want to get pissed off by the fiction of it. But I do know that when it comes to fiction and all that, DOMs, masters are like not supposed to have weaknesses, not supposed to show weakness. And most DOMs, like 98% of them, think the words Dom or Master or Sir or any top titles mean you are in control and you have all the power. But most DOMs, like 98% of them, no matter how perfect they seem, how good they look, how much experience they have, how many years they've been doing this, they have something there. There's something in them that can easily be brought out or triggered, even by accident during the session. It could be a word, it could be a phrase, it could be even a noise that the sub might make. So to the DOMs, both masters and mistresses, if you do the talking nicely with your slave or aftercare with your slave in general, and you have some sort of mood change, you suddenly feel sadness or anger or confusion or depression, anything, keep in mind, just remember, one, you are not alone. Most dominant people go through that, but they just don't want to say it and don't want to show it. And if it's a male, we're not allowed to be sad or be depressed and nothing like that. Doesn't mean we don't feel it. So no, you're not alone. Two, you're not broken. It doesn't even mean you're bad at the whole BDSM thing. There's nothing wrong with you. Like, for the most part, you're already born with like a right and wrong or yes or no button instilled in you in place. You just need to learn when to press or release each one. Being a good person might mean you learn correctly. So humiliating, hitting, scarring, scaring, hurting a sub, making them cry, yelling at them, even if it's what they asked for, might make you feel like you're a monster. It might make you feel like you just messed up. And honestly, unless you're a psychopath and you're on meds, need meds, or need to be put in prison, it's not easy and kind of shouldn't be easy to just snap back to being normal as if you didn't just do these things. And now to the subs. After a session, after some sort of intense play and you get your aftercare, if you guys even do aftercare, pay attention to your dominant. Even if it's secretly, just watch them, pay attention, listen. Pay attention to how they act and the way they talk. And maybe even sometimes the words they say. Especially if they just instantly seem normal and unfazed. If it's like nothing's wrong, like everything y'all just did doesn't matter, or if they're in a better mood and feel and seem rejoiced and regenerated after a session that might have been intense, really keep paying attention. They might want to do things like suddenly they want to be alone. They want to go somewhere where you're not. Be in the next room. Go outside for a while. Somewhere to be away from you or to be away from people. And you see them doing things that they normally didn't do, like before a session. Ask them if they're okay. If you can, if you're in the right state of mind for it and the session did go good at least, ask them, are they okay with it? How do they feel about it? Now, if you try talking to them and ask them if they're okay, if everything is fine, after they start acting different or after they say something a little bit bugged out and they say they're fine, just like anybody who's sad or suffering from depression or something, that means they are not fine. And it also means you would have no idea what triggered them, what caused them to go into that sad or angry mood. You don't know what happened during that session that upset them in whatever way, because you are upset yourself, or because the focus is on you as a sub. Now, to most people into BDSM, that's how it's supposed to be. especially if the sub is a female. But again, it does not mean that doms are perfect and they're incapable of feeling emotion and have no problem hurting another person. Now, of course, the whole thing with being a sub in this day and age is you're okay with that. You might choose to be that. Nobody's forcing you into slavery, so to speak. So whatever so-called bad or embarrassing or horrible things that might happen during the session are things that you could control. It's supposed to be happening because you wanted it and you're okay with it. But sometimes all a dom needs is assurance that you're okay and that you enjoyed the session. If you enjoyed the session, that might get the dom to open up a little or soften up a little. That could be affection, like kisses here and there, cuddling, talking, having a nice conversation about how each other feels while they're trying to aftercare you. Ask the dom if they want you to make them a drink. Ask them if they want something to eat. See if the dom wants or needs anything. If you enjoy serving them, if you're actually living a lifestyle, or if you like role playing and you enjoyed the session, I would suggest do stuff like this more and more. Show that you're okay with it. That'll make a dom kind of want to open up more to you if there's anything there that the dom is hiding or feels bad about. Then at some point, if y'all keep doing this, if there is something wrong, the dom, like any other person would probably feel a lot better about talking to you about it. You don't feel like you don't want them to feel like they were wrong for something. And if they were, if something went a little too far or something, you want to let them feel like it's okay to talk about it. That's it. Just a quick video because that's something that I never hear people talk about, but something that I knew was there from the 90s when I first found out BDSM existed. I don't know why people don't talk about it. Well, I mean, I know why, because, you know, doms are tough and dominant people are grr. And if things go wrong, it's always a possibility this person is mentally disturbed, there's something going on wrong in their head. Nobody takes time to think maybe there's something going on with them emotionally too. But hey, hi guys, I'm back. Then again, I tend not to pay attention to fiction when it comes to BDSM. Nah. Somebody wants to be hurt while I'm doing this. Somebody chooses my time to want to get hurt. I gotta wait for the ambulance. Kind of proving that you were okay and you enjoy what you guys do by serving them. Ask them if they want something to drink. Ask them if they want you to make them a drink. Ask them if they want something to eat. These goddamn sirens. Like nobody was hurt or nothing. There were no crimes happening, and now I'm going to record, and all of a sudden, everybody want to rob a bank. Everybody want to push somebody off the curb into the street.